Hello, everyone. This is DInfinityX, and welcome to episode 2 of my Minecraft world. I've already tried recording this episode. I got another layer of my mountain done, and unfortunately, I have the Logitech. Hold on, let me look. The Logitech G35 headset, which is what I'm using to record these, because I used to have a Blue Snowball and or a Yeti Snowball and all of that, and I've just been using the headphones. I missed another spot. I'll have to go back and fix that. But every once in a while, my headphones, and I'm assuming it's because I have them plugged into an expansion port on the front of my computer, will just start going staticky, echo out, and I don't know why. Honestly, at this point, I'm going to blame Intel because I used to never have these problems when I had an AMD CPU. And then because my motherboard died and I needed a new computer, we were kind of forced last minute to go to Best Buy, and the only chip Best Buy had was the 10770. So we got that to for my computer, and it has just been horrendous, and I hate it. I really wish I still had an AMD chip. Ooh, I managed to do that. I am honestly surprised. So in the what a it's kind of sad because I really did do a lot. So I'm going to explain again how I built this mountain. So to start with, I pillared up, and I can show you exactly where I pillared up to start and how that's gone. You know what? I'm just going to break in here. Oh, it's all the way over there. Okay, so I pillared up with scaffolding all the way up to this level, which is Y170. And I made a rough outline in the air of what I wanted the mountain top to look like. And then what I did was made, oop, completely missed that. So I made two kind of outlines going up from the ground. I made this one going up, and then I made this one going up to connect to the top outline that I made. And you can kind of it's the black area there, the really shadowed area. This has all been added afterwards. And then I thought, well, I'll just connect these two and see how it looks. And that was going good. But before I finished, I was really quickly starting to overtake my outline on the ground of kind of how I wanted it to look. Because as you can see, I'm already quite far over, and I was being extremely conservative with how I wanted, or, how far out I was going. And that led to, if I can get around, that led to kind of these very sheer cliffs, especially on this side, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's kind of how I wanted it to look, so I was okay with that. But I wanted to see if I could make this corner the turn and see how that would look. So I started doing this, and then I realized that it was very quickly not looking the way that I wanted it to. So I came up with a new way of doing it in which I scaffold all the way up to the top here, and I came down, and I'm going to have to do this again, and I need to go get a lot more stone to do this, but I came down, and I came down a little bit farther. One, two, three, four. 4 blocks. And that would give me the perfect area to kind of build this out. And I've only got what little over a stack left, but I would come through and I would just start placing lines like this and just see how it came out. And this has worked so much easier. Oh, I went way too far. I did this the first time I recorded it as well, because that's part of the nice thing about this is I'm really not paying attention to where I'm building these out at. I'm just kind of going with the flow, and every once in a while I'll look up, see where the mountain's kind of going, and emulate it a little bit. Yeah, like I'll pull this out just a little, just to give it some depth, and then I'll head back around. If I get too close to the top, that's fine, as long as I don't go past or underneath where the last layer was. This all looks extremely good. And oh, this is probably a little bit wide, but that's okay. It all works. So I'm going to go get some more stone because I need the last layer almost took up a full inventory of stone. And I'm going to do this whole layer and then I'll show you how I am filling it in. One thing I do want to point out is I've done this, I did this twice now. I've kind of come through and I've made the outside actually underneath where the previous one was, and that's okay. In fact, I've just done that, and I think I'm going to keep it. Kind of build out a kind of little of a crevice in the middle. That's fine. And that's the kind of the nice thing about this is that it really doesn't matter as long as you're not going underneath and back into, which I guess even then would still look kind of cool because you'd have these little divots into the mountain, which would just add to the depth and everything of the build. But it's all going to work. Like I'm getting close to this side again, which just means it's going to be more of a sheer face than a gradual slope, and that's kind of what I want. I don't want this to just be, a massive mountain with a tiny top, which is how most mountains are. I kind of took inspiration from, like I said, Mumbo Jumbo with his mountain base, and I want to have that kind of that tall but very sheer look to it. So I don't want to go out, 5 blocks, or I guess I'm doing 3 block gaps. So I don't want to go out 3 blocks from every edge and do that. I want to have a lot of sheerness in it just so that it looks a whole lot more kind of natural and a lot more impressive. Kind of like I was gonna say, oh, I am totally blanking on the mountain. Let me finish this up and I'll get back to that thought. So that was a wild ride, and I came back just as I want to make this turn. But I asked my 7-year-old daughter what the mountain in Japan was because I was just completely blanking on it, and she said Mount Everest, um, which obviously is not in Japan. And then I asked Alexa what the famous mountain in Japan was, and she came back with Mount Everest, which was kind of funny. Not gonna lie, I need to make sure. Yeah, this is going to be kind of wide. That's the downside to building this side first is that I have to kind of conform to that, which means that I've got 2 blocks to go out. So this is all going to be pretty long straights, but that's okay. So after asking again, because that was obviously not the right answer, they gave me the economic downturn that is currently happening in Japan. Also, not the tallest mountain in Japan. The correct answer is Mount Fuji. Oops, that's okay. So, well, now that I've got here, I'm going to show you how I've been filling in this mountain. So to start, it is very easy, very hard to mess up. You just kind of take blocks and just place them along here. And for like right here, I don't want it to be completely sheer, so I'm going to add some verticality. That's probably not the right word at all for that. What I'm trying to do. Trying to add some texture and depth. That's better. Depth. That's the word I was missing. Depth to this. I say it's hard to mess up, but that kind of was a mess up. So the other thing I'm doing while I'm thinking about it, adding these glowberries. I talked about it in the last one, but I've been placing them all along, just kind of not kind of mob proof, but not mob proof. It's more to make sure I don't have areas like that where mobs can spawn and just kind of drop on us. Now I know down there is a massive, massive dark area, and that is full of mobs. But we're just going to keep going through and kind of texturizing and placing blocks as I see fit. Like right here is another good spot for a glowberry. And we're just going to place blocks. And to kind of quote Bob Ross, everything's just kind of a happy little accident. We can do that. We can bring this down. So I placed a block there. I'm going to work it into the build. There we go. And we're going to come down, and I kind of want some more of that. Although I've kind of built myself into a corner there. Let's see if I can get. There we go. That's the downside to these long areas is that they kind of don't lend themselves to placing blocks. I'm just going to place blocks, just clicking around. The downside to this is it uses a lot of cobblestone. Like I said with before, the last layer I did that the audio messed up on took me about 20 minutes to finish, I think, and used almost a full inventory of stone, which is quite a lot because I've got a lot of layers to do. And that's why it's kind of annoying that the audio messed up on the last one, but it is all right because one way or another I've got to build all these layers of this mountain, and I haven't been adding glowberries again. We'll add another one there. I have to build the layers of the mountain anyway, so it's not a huge deal that I lost some audio. Well, I'm kind of upset I lost the audio, but on the flip side, hopefully it sounds better. That was the other thing I did is I moved the adapter or the wireless receiver for the headphones to the back port just to see if that would help, because I really don't want to have that staticky, echoey mess again. I'm kind of glad I realized it before I continued. That was an accident that's not happy or meaningful. So I'm going to continue just kind of texturizing and placing these blocks down until I get all the way around, and then we're going to kind of cut in and do the interior of that waterfall right there. And yeah, we'll see you in a second. All right, so I have gotten to the interior. I keep missing blocks. That is the one thing with this method that is just kind of not working as well as I would like, but I keep missing stuff. So for the interior, I'm going to do essentially the same thing, except I'm going to go into the mountain a little bit more than I have been, and I'm going to kind of snake it around. Actually, it will just go this way. That's all right. We're just going to snake it around the mountain, bring it out, and once I get to the center of the waterfall here, or close to the center, I should be. Ooh, I'm not nearly far enough out. So let's clean this up a little bit. We're going to get rid of these, bring this out, bring this back, and we're going to bring this out because I talked about it in the last time I did this. There's no place to put a glowberry up here that'll make this look good, and I don't have torches because I've been using glowberries, which look amazing. But the whole point of this mountain is that it's going to kind of look like the waterfall has eroded away the inside of the mountain, kind of in here. So there's going to be a big empty space in here, and I'm probably going to go through and terraform it even more after I've gotten this here, but I want a kind of futuristic slash what did I say, rustic village in this middle part around this first little lake. And I kind of almost want it to be a little like cliff dwellings, a little like not. It's just going to kind of depend on how it looks once I get around to it. And I probably pulled that out too far. Yeah. So we're going to sharply cut this way into this glowberry and do that. Now for decorating the interior, and hopefully I have enough blocks to do this. I should, because I had just a little over a stack left over last time. We're going to do the exact same thing, just a little bit opposite. So we're going to pull this stuff in, and I'm going to get rid of that one. Oh, and I'm going to fall off again, like I always do. And it's going to take me a second to get back up there. All right, back. So we're going to pull this in a kind of a same thing, natural way, just placing blocks. Oh, I've fallen off again. I need to get much better about holding shift. So yeah, once again, we're just going to place blocks, and we're going to kind of pull it this way, away from the waterfall, to make it look like the waterfall has just been tearing apart this mountain for years and years and years, and especially back towards the lake. I don't know if I'm going to have enough now. Back towards the lake, we would just want it to pull this way. I really wish I had something to light this up because it is really hard to see. So hold on. All right, so I've got some torches and I'm just gonna light up the top here just so I can see it a little bit better. Just a little bit of torch spam here. Just so that I can see what I'm doing just a little bit more. But same principle, we're just gonna pull this back and make it look really nice. And I think I'm gonna have to really exaggerate the inside of the mountain here because I don't think I have pulled enough of this back yet to make it look exactly how I want it or how I'm envisioning it, because I really want a big open area in the cave where the villages are kind of sprawled out and assembling. And I think that's going to be a bit harder to do with the limited amount of space that I have. I mean, I can change my mind and come up with a bit of a different way to do it. That's not a big deal. It's not like it hasn't happened multiple times already, because I really wanted to kind of envision and do what. Ooh. Thank God that glow barrier was right there. Do what Mumbo Jumbo and everything was doing with his build. That's just gonna be a sheer face right there. Okay. So the other thing I have to do is connect this up to that and bring that around. So I'm going to do that right now, and then we will see how it all looks when it's done. Now, the one downside to this is that I really have to kind of more conform to what is already above me, because I'm trying to match it up and then pull it out just a little bit. And hopefully, let's see, how bad am I going to be off here? Not horrible. Okay, I can live with that. And in hindsight, I think I'm going to wait until this part, or I've done another layer to do in that part, but I'm going to finish this one up right in here, and I'm not happy with that one. So I'm going to take this, and we're going to try and, oh, I don't have my glowberries. Always have to have glowberries. Try and make this. This is going to be probably pretty sheer, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to leave a few gaps. Actually, I wanted that gap, so I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to place this back because I want kind of a bit of an overhang as it starts protruding out. I guess I have to fill that one in. We're going to come around the corner here. We're going to do that and then get rid of this, so it kind of has that overhangy feel, like it's been eroded away by the mountain. And you know what? Let's see if I can pull off the same trick here and just kind of pull that mountain out just a little bit. But at the same time, I want to start pulling it out. In fact, I could do that, have a little off hinges or overhangs right there, because then it's going to start finally protruding back out this way. And I think that will look good. Yeah, because now we're going to start pulling this way and pulling it back away from the sheer face that it has gotten. And we'll build this up a little bit. And now I'm going to go sleep. We'll come back and we'll see how it looks. I am constantly being attacked down here, and oh geez, there's another one. I know it's my fault because this area is so dark, but still. I used to have 5 shulker boxes here full of stone. I'm down to 2 that are kind of full of stone. I don't need that. So I'm going to go back to doing what I said I would do, and then we'll check it out. All right, so one of the things I've been wanting to do, and I'm trying to catch a screenshot where there's not particle effects. That was my fault. Hopefully I got one. I've been taking a screenshot every time I do another layer. But as you can see, So we have these two mountain peaks that are almost touching, and they're going to kind of create a thin layer all the way down. But I wanted this top open, looking like a waterfall or pool of water had just eaten through it. We're going to go here. I just realized I'm almost out of rockets, so that's unfortunate. I may have to land and restock. But as you can see, this mountain looks very, there are some repetitive patterns, or repetitive, uh, repetitive, that's the word I was going for. Repetitive patterns in here, but as you can see, it is very, I may have to go in and fix some of those little one-off bits. I was really trying to stay away from those, but I think those were done before I had changed my mind to doing those. Oh, slow falling. It makes everything, well, obviously slow. But let's get another full stack. We'll pop in here, throw this in here, grab this. We'll take off again. So, yeah, the whole mountain is beginning to really take shape. And I kind of wish I had done this from the beginning now because, like I said, now I have the issue of this part up here really doesn't match this part, and I may be forced to tear all of this out and kind of redo it. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think because that is going to be heart wrenching to do because this looks more sharp and gravelly, whereas this is very flat, and I may just pull this out and make it kind of look like that, which is another possibility other than going through and tearing out all of all of this and redoing it. I may just try and make it look a little bit more uniform because the bottom is definitely going to start matching up with that side. And this is a good example of why. Let's get these particles out of my face because that is and because I just went back into, hold on, there we go, no more particles in my face. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to go through and retexture this top and bring it up a little bit. It's just from one side it's gonna look like one thing, and from the other it's gonna look bad. And I really wish I had started this style of mountain building at the beginning because it has a lot of, as you can see, it has a lot of variation. And I say variation, I still see a lot of repetitive patterns, whereas this looks a bit more natural, but it has that sheer and flatness to it that I don't really like, which is a shame because I kind of like both styles and I wish I could mix them up a little bit better. But we could keep this. I don't know. We'll have to see what I decide to do. Uh, but now for my next thought, my next project that I'm going to work on, because I'm going to be doing a lot of the mountain building in the background. Because I'm not going to make a video every single time I add a layer. That would just be repetitive and tedious, and I really don't want to do that. Bye bye, Mr. Golem. What I want to do is show you off another idea I've had. As I talked before, I play on the server with my daughters, and hopefully my wife will join us at some point. She has joined and played a little bit, but she hasn't played Minecraft in probably 8-9 years, something like that. So my thought was, I want to make Shulkerbox fillers. And the idea behind it is, like, this would be a redstone box. And when you need to refill the box, instead of having to go and craft and do everything, you plop it in a little station. And this is just going to be a quick demonstration. You plop it in a little station. And let me move this one over here. And if I do it correctly with the chests and the hoppers and everything, there are 20 items in here, and there are four hoppers with 5 slots each. So I can fill up this chest fairly quickly as long as it looks like this when you're filling it. There's at least one item in every slot. I can fill up a chest fairly quickly. And I wanted to have these for my kids so that they didn't have to worry about going around and collecting a bunch of stuff. And I have 2 other options here, like a survival box with rockets, carrots, torches, arrows, ender pearls, and scaffolding. And then I also had like a building box with bricks, stone, cobblestone, the off rocks, tuft, blackstone, grass, dirt, all of the logs, moss, sea lantern, torches, scaffolding, all of that. And they would just be able to come over, throw the chest that they need into the hopper mix, let it fill up, and pull it back out and go off and do whatever they want. So it's kind of like creative for them. This is going to take a lot of work on my part because there's a lot of fancy stuff I want to try and do that is going to be hard, or at least harder with this stuff, because I want to make an indicator for when the box is full. It may even just pop off naturally, which shouldn't be too hard because let's test it out. I want to get my green lime or redstone box here because I always make sense. And we're going to, in theory, if I power this, it should just break the shulker. Yep. I don't know where that shulker's gone. Is it in my inventory? Oh, it's in my inventory. Okay. That way, when this is full, which I can't, I might be able to. We'll have to see. That's something I'm going to have to test because I want to keep these at 20 or less blocks. Like this one's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which not ideal because that's just two hoppers. But so I might add some more, take some stuff out, do something like that. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I think 10 in here would be good. So I do need some ideas of what else to put in here besides what I have. I might switch up some of the arrows with spectral arrows, get a combination of both because I do have a lot of those. But we'll just have to see and see how it turns out. But that's going to be the next episode that I do, is working on that little system so that my kids can have kind of just a creative-esque filling station for their items. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. These are going to be kind of short, to the point, mostly. I'm hoping to do some collaboration with my wife on building stuff. I want to get my kids involved when I get the mountain more close to being done so that we can all kind of work on the interior and the decorating itself. Even from afar, that's starting to look more and more. You can definitely tell the difference from back here. But that's okay. I still think it looks good. I'm going to work on trying to fix that, making it look a whole lot better. But until next time, thank you for watching. Have a good day.